I have more guys come up and say, I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
But have a lot of respect for what we do. So, I mean, every day is like, wow, I love what you guys do. I could never do it. And then the guys that always say, I could do it, usually are the ones that can't for some reason. It's like this ego thing with guys. I don't know what it is.
From a reality TV darling to facing heartbreaking tragedy, this is the shocking truth about what happened with Mandy Hansen. She's always seemed like the perfect example for anyone wanting to become a fisherwoman. She was tough, skilled, and fearless on TV, working her way up to be second in command in a field mostly dominated by men. But just when everything seemed to be going great, a heartbreaking event turned her world upside down. But what exactly was this? Let's dive into her story and see how life in this unpredictable world has shaped her journey. Mandy was a shining light for young girls everywhere, showing them they could tackle any challenge if they put their minds to it. But her life wasn't always smooth sailing. Born on May 15, 1996, in the busy city of Seattle, Washington, she came into the world with her dad and mom, June Hansen, by her side.
He tells me that's blackmail, that I use blackmail against him, but no, I've been wanting to do it forever, and
Why?
I started getting, just my family's been doing it for generations, so I want to be a part of that.
Her life took a turn when her mom divorced her dad and married fisherman Sig Hansen, who co-owned the Northwestern fishing fleet with his brothers, Norm and Edgar. Sig took Mandy under his wing, adopting her and giving her his last name. Growing up with the Hansens, Mandy found her love for the ocean. She spent her summers on the boat with Sig, trying to understand the ins and outs of fishing.
We're a little behind schedule. Jonathan kind of double-crossed us, and we're lucky just to get these scraps that we could find.
Sig would often describe Mandy as an outdoor-loving, adventurous spirit, always eager to be near the water. The kid just wants to be on the water, he'd say. Anything she can do to be on the water, I think, is in her future, and that's great. I told her you don't have to be a crab fisherman to be on the water. But as much as Sig loved seeing his daughter's passion, he also worried about her safety. He knew that one day, Mandy would want to join him on those dangerous fishing trips. Mandy wasn't the typical girly girl. She wanted to be out there with her dad, facing the wild waves and mastering the art of crabbing, which made her father nervous. He had hoped that by letting her watch, she'd lose interest. But Mandy was stubborn. She was determined to learn everything about fishing from the best teacher she knew, her dad, Sig Hansen. Sigurd Johnny Hansen, better known as Sig Hansen, is a Norwegian-American fishing captain born in Seattle, Washington on April 28, 1966. He's the oldest of 3 boys and grew up in a family deeply rooted in the fishing tradition, making it almost certain that he would follow in his family's footsteps. His grandfather and father were pioneers in opilio crab fishing in Alaska, and Sig got involved early on, starting at just 14 years old. While other kids his age were likely hanging out with friends after school, Sig was already hard at work on his family's fishing boat. After finishing high school, he didn't waste time thinking about college. He knew fishing was where his heart was, so he dove into it full-time, spending around 10 months each year fishing in Alaska and the Bering Sea.
I'm really hoping for some fast fishing so I can get back home to my baby, obviously. So you think we can do this fast?
I hope so. For Opilios, looking at the survey, everything that happened last year, it was all up the line. So that's what we got to do.
Occasionally, he would head over to Norway during the summer to fish for mackerel and cod. Sig loved every bit of the fishing life, so much so that by the age of 22, he became a relief skipper, stepping in for other captains on the Northwestern. He even took on part-time work on other boats to broaden his experience. Just 2 years later, he was running the Northwestern himself, overseeing all the fleet's operations. Safety was always Sig's top priority. Under his leadership, the Northwestern never recorded a single fatality, which is a remarkable achievement given the dangers of the job. This commitment to safety didn't go unnoticed. On April 12, 2005, Sig brought his world to television by launching a reality show called Deadliest Catch on the Discovery Channel. The show followed crab fishing seasons, capturing the intense and often dangerous life of fishermen on various boats in the Bering Sea. The base of operations for this fleet was Dutch Harbor in the Aleutian Islands of Alaska. Sig wanted to give viewers a real sense of what it took for fishermen to bring seafood to their tables. Each episode focused on different stories, situations, or themes, usually highlighting the background of 1 or 2 crew members. To keep things exciting, the crew of the Northwestern often found themselves in friendly competition with other boats, racing to catch crabs in the rough Alaskan waters. Commercial fishing is one of the most dangerous jobs out there. In 2006, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that commercial fishing had the highest fatality rate, with a staggering 141.7 deaths per 100,000 workers. This statistic underlined just how dangerous the work was, making Sig's dedication to safety even more impressive. Fishing in the Alaskan Sea is so dangerous that the U.S. Coast Guard has stationed rescue helicopters at Integrated Support Command Kodiak, Alaska, and an outpost on St. Paul Island, right near the northern edge of the crab fishing grounds.
We got about 4.5 hours of fuel on board. It'll take us just shy of 2 hours to get there. Roger.
Deadliest Catch has often captured these helicopters in action, racing against time to rescue crew members who have fallen victim to the brutal conditions of the Alaskan waters. In the pilot episode of Deadliest Catch, the show highlighted just how dangerous this job can be, revealing that during the peak crab season, the death rate in the Alaskan Sea averaged nearly 1 fisherman per week. The injury rate wasn't any better. Almost every crew member on most crab boats faced some kind of injury due to the harsh weather and dangerous seas. Tragically, over 80% of those deaths were due to drowning or hypothermia. To try and make the job safer, the production team even adjusted the fishing rules. Sig Hansen himself wasn't immune to the dangers of the Bering Sea. In season 12 of Deadliest Catch, Sig had a heart attack while at sea, just an hour from port. Initially, he brushed it off as nothing more than muscle pain, possibly from sleeping in a bad position, but it turned out to be a type of heart attack known as the widowmaker, which is incredibly serious. The pain was so intense that he could do little more than clutch his chest. In 2019, Sig faced another heart attack scare, which left his crew questioning whether he could continue captaining the ship. But Sig, ever resilient, recovered and was back on Deadliest Catch the next season. He wasn't ready to give up his passion for fishing. Knowing how dangerous this profession is, Sig tried to dissuade Mandy from following in his footsteps. He knew that if she chose to make fishing her career, she would face the same dangers, and anything could happen. But instead of deterring her, his words only strengthened her resolve. Mandy was determined to chase her dream, even if she didn't fully grasp the sacrifices that might come with it, until it was too late. For Mandy Hansen, the most challenging part of her career was showing up and proving herself, no matter what. She knew that if she wanted her father, Sig Hansen, to take her seriously in the fishing world, she had to prove that fishing genuinely made her happy. At 18, Mandy graduated from Bishop Blanchet High School in Seattle and moved to San Diego, where she pursued maritime studies at the California Maritime Academy.
All right, Mandy, first part of the season coming up here.
And this is part of the Jake string?
Yeah, this is the one out west.
She later obtained a master's degree, but despite her academic achievements, Mandy was unwavering in her desire to join the family fishing business, even when her father hoped she would choose a safer career like her siblings. In one last attempt to change her mind, Sig tried to convince her of other opportunities. While driving one day, he told Mandy how brilliant she was and how incredible it would be if she pursued another field, stressing that she had the brains to succeed in anything. But Mandy was resolute. She immediately responded that his efforts to dissuade her had only made her more determined. Despite her father's concerns, Mandy was dead set on a fishing career. When Sig realized that she was serious about becoming a fisherman, with or without his support, he decided to teach her the ropes himself, rather than risk her working on other boats. Mandy initially joined the Northwestern crew as a greenhorn, where she had to prove herself to earn a permanent spot. Mandy's perseverance paid off. Within just a few episodes of Deadliest Catch, she showed that she was more than capable of handling the tough conditions of the Bering Sea. She became the youngest woman ever to fish in these dangerous waters during the winter, which is known as the most dangerous time of year. Her determination and hard work earned her a permanent place on the Northwestern, where she continued to take on new fishing adventures. However, Mandy was acutely aware of one thing. She was a woman in a male-dominated industry. As she packed her bags for her first full season as a permanent crew member, she knew that this would be different from her previous experiences. She also knew that stepping into the male-dominated world of fishing wouldn't be easy, and she had plenty of worries on her mind. What would the guys think of her doing her job? Would they assume she was just trying to show off, or that she was there to get ahead of them? Mandy wasn't afraid of the sea, but she was anxious about how she would be perceived. Would they question why she wasn't in school studying something else? She wanted to make a good impression, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being judged.
You know, the only thing that they got to fudge on our show was the timeline. I mean, you take 4 or 5 months, you got to condense it. So of course they're showing the better moments, let's face it.
Viewers of the show might have thought Mandy had it easy. After all, she was the captain's daughter, born with a silver spoon in her mouth. What challenges could she possibly face? Even the all-male crew might have assumed she had an advantage. Could she make the tough calls when the pressure was on? And wasn't it nepotism that led to disrespecting a woman at work in the first place? The crew might have already decided that she couldn't work efficiently just because she was a woman, but Mandy was determined to prove herself, and that's exactly what she did. She didn't back down or let the doubts get to her. Instead, she kept pushing forward, showing her capabilities, and slowly but surely earned the respect of the crew. Eventually, she became a full-time deckhand on the Northwestern, a role she fought hard to achieve. One time, Mandy's resolve was truly tested. She was aboard the vessel with her father when suddenly there was a power outage. The boat was adrift, and danger was imminent. Moments later, a crew member shouted, "Fire!" and panic could have easily set in. If the fire got out of control, none of them would make it back to shore. But Mandy stayed calm and helped her father manage the situation. Together, they extinguished the fire, and the crew was safe once again. Through this crisis, Mandy not only proved her worth, but also gained the trust of the entire crew. After the incident, the fleet's website couldn't help but praise young Mandy. They described her as charismatic, hardworking, and headstrong, qualities that endeared her to the fans of Deadliest Catch and made her a respected figure in reality television. Her resolution and dedication to the trade were undeniable, earning her admiration not just from viewers, but also from those within the industry. Despite her father's fears and hopes that the incident might change her mind, it only made Mandy more resilient. Sig was worried for his daughter, but Mandy was determined to thrive in the fishing world.
Difference is that he's doing his job up in the wheelhouse and I'm doing my job. I don't see him.
But his
He's the
personality.
captain. So, you know, he's maybe a little bit more rough out at sea.
So Captain Sig comes to visit you once in a while at home?
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't just content with what she had already achieved. She decided to take her career even further by pursuing a bigger license in maritime studies. This would allow her to operate on any big ship, making her an invaluable asset to any fishing company. Mandy is a wise woman who understands that the maritime world is full of unpredictability. What sets her apart is her unyielding determination to find solutions to every challenge she encounters in her career. She has an incredible ability to learn from every situation, never backing down or giving up. Her love for the water was well known, and everyone around her could see that she was truly in her element when she was out at sea. But Mandy's ambitions extended beyond the ocean. She also dreamed of creating a small family while continuing to pursue her career. In a world filled with uncertainty, she faced the difficult question: would she have to give up her dreams, or could she find a way to succeed in both her professional and personal life? Mandy's journey was far from over, and only time would tell how she would balance her love for the sea with her desire for a family. Now you might assume that a woman like Mandy Hansen, who often found herself in a world dominated by men, would struggle with finding love. But despite the rough environment of crab fishing, she maintained her feminine qualities while climbing the ranks to become second in command on the Northwestern. Even with her demanding schedule, Mandy managed to find time for love, and it's no surprise that the man who captured her heart also thrived in the maritime world. Her husband, Clark Peterson, is a crab fisherman like her father, Sig Hansen, and also works aboard the Northwestern. Before joining the crew, Clark attended Washington State University in Pullman. After graduation, he worked as a deckhand and captain in training on the Columbia River, aspiring to become a maritime pilot, a role that involves navigating ships through dangerous waters filled with bars, shoals, and strong currents.
You gotta go to school, you gotta get your education, you gotta become someone, but like I said earlier, I don't want to become a Hansen. You gotta earn it.
Interestingly, Clark and Mandy didn't meet on the job or through her father's boat. Their paths crossed at the Maritime Academy, where Clark was pursuing his third mate unlimited license and training to be a captain. Although Mandy was already familiar with Deadliest Catch when they met, Clark wasn't particularly starstruck by her TV fame. Instead, he was captivated by her accomplishments at such a young age. In 2016, Clark joined the Northwestern crew as a greenhorn, and their shared passion for the sea and its challenges quickly brought them together. Clark proved to be a supportive partner, backing Mandy in her dream of one day leading the Northwestern. He even became a regular on Deadliest Catch, fitting seamlessly into the life Mandy had carved out for herself. In 2017, in a touching episode of The Deadliest Catch, Clark visited the Hansen family's Seattle residence to seek Sig's blessing for Mandy's hand in marriage. After receiving Sig's approval, their love story continued to unfold, blending their personal and professional lives into a shared adventure at sea. After seeking Sig Hansen's blessing, Clark Peterson was ready to take the next big step. He called Mandy privately on deck and proposed to the love of his life, and she gladly accepted. On June 10, 2017, Mandy and Clark were joined in holy holy matrimony in a heartfelt ceremony held in front of the Northwestern vessel at a fisherman's shipyard in Seattle. The wedding was a blend of joy and tradition, with Mandy and her father Sig sharing a particularly special moment. Not only did Sig walk his daughter down the aisle, but he also served as her best man, making the day even more memorable. The ceremony itself was a beautiful mix of Norwegian and American cultures, reflecting the couple's heritage and love for their shared life at sea. Family and friends gathered to celebrate the union, and the next episode of The Deadliest Catch briefly aired clips of the joyous event. However, the couple didn't have much time to bask in the afterglow of their wedding. They quickly returned to work on the deck, proving that their love and dedication to the fishing industry were unwavering.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna talk to Mandy outside for a little bit, if that's all right.
First you want to steal my boat, now you want to steal my kid?
Clark later admitted that working with his wife and father-in-law added a unique pressure. You want to perform at a high level so your wife and father-in-law are proud of you. It makes you step up, he said. Despite the challenges, Clark was proud of what they had accomplished together. They were a strong team, both in their marriage and on the Northwestern, and it seemed like things would only get easier from there. But fate had other plans. Just as Mandy was reaching new heights in her career, tragedy struck, and the walls of her world began to crumble. Despite her status as a reality TV star, Mandy Hansen was careful to keep certain aspects of her life private. As the second in command in her father's company and married to a loving husband, Mandy seemed to have everything she needed to create the small family she had always dreamed of. But behind the scenes, she was struggling with something deeply personal. She was trying to have a child, but had not yet succeeded. Mandy had kept this struggle a secret from her fans. But just when everything seemed to be falling into place in her career, she dropped a heartbreaking revelation that shook her followers. On February 11, 2019, Mandy Hansen shared the devastating news of her miscarriage through a social media post. She posted a picture of a white baby onesie and tiny crab-themed booties, accompanied by a message that expressed her grief. "Though I lost you in my previous season on board, I still think about you every day," she wrote. "Words cannot describe the hurt and the love I still feel for you. May we meet one day, little one." Mandy ended the message with, "Mama's got you in her heart forever and ever," adding a kissing emoji to convey the deep bond she still felt with the child she never got to hold. Mandy had miscarried during the filming of season 15 of Deadliest Catch, a loss that no woman should ever have to endure. Her Instagram caption revealed her enduring love and her determination to keep going despite the pain. It was a testament to her strength and resilience.
We can't wait, because this weather isn't going to stop no matter what. And the more it blows, the faster that ice is going to come down, and then there is no fishing ground. And I'd rather do it without you right now.
Showing that she was a fighter who refused to give up. Throughout this difficult time, Mandy leaned on the support of her close-knit family and friends, with Clark standing by her side as her rock. The next time Mandy tried to become a mother, she would be met with joy, and she would be more than ready to provide for her little one, both emotionally and financially. After all this time on the show, she has managed to build a solid reputation and secure a substantial income through her dedication and skill. While exact figures haven't been publicly disclosed, her financial success became notable when she joined the cast of Deadliest Catch as a regular. This position significantly boosted her earnings, adding to her wealth from her primary profession as a fisherman. In addition to her salary from the show, Mandy earned money as a deckhand on the Northwestern. As her fame grew, she used her popularity by securing endorsement deals and partnerships, further increasing her income. Her estimated net worth stands at approximately $1.5 million, not including additional revenue from endorsements and partnerships. With her ongoing role on Deadliest Catch and her career in fishing, Mandy's net worth is projected to keep rising. However, she understands the added responsibility that comes with it. As her father ages, Mandy is preparing herself for potentially taking on greater responsibilities within the family business. The future may hold even more opportunities for her as she steps into new roles and continues to build on her success. It looks like from the pilot season through the ongoing series, Sig has gradually begun passing the torch to his daughter, Mandy. Her early education in sales, ship management, and leadership has made the transition appear seamless. One day, Mandy faced her biggest test of leadership while captaining the vessel. In crab fishing, before dropping a crab pot into the sea, 2 crew members traditionally go overboard to mark the pot's location and provide a lifeline for retrieval. During a routine drop exercise, an unexpected issue came up.
I know you've never heard that.
Sound. I was looking over here.
I get it. That's why it drives me.
I
understand. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm trying to not let this ever happen again. It's all I care about.
A hook had become loose, and the Northwestern was moving too fast to address the problem immediately. Despite warnings from the deckhands to slow down, Mandy was preoccupied with other tasks. An alarm on the vessel finally caught her attention, prompting her to slow the boat. However, it was too late. The loose hook snapped off its rope and came toward the crew at high speed. The deckhands scrambled for cover just in time, narrowly avoiding injury. The incident created tension among the crew, highlighting the potential danger of Mandy's oversight. Although no one was harmed, the near miss left Mandy shaken. She recognized the gravity of the situation and the importance of staying alert and responsive. Deckhands had previously expressed concerns about Mandy's solo command, and Sig, upon learning about the incident during his break, delivered a stern lecture to his daughter. Mandy took the feedback seriously and committed to enhancing her vigilance and leadership skills.